girl Cheryl, and welcome. It is Tuesday night, so that means one thing. It is time for Church Girl Rants. I am so happy that you are here with me on tonight. If you are here, I just want you to wave at me and say hello so that I can greet you. Thank God it is Tuesday. And tonight we have a hot topic that we're going to be talking about. Why is it so lonely being single? So we're going to talk about that on tonight. My guests are just a little bit late, but we'll have them jump on in just a moment. But thank you all so much for joining. Um, Remember to say hello, and as you are joining, also remember to like and to share. I see I have one of my co-hosts that just jumped in. I'm going to give the other one just another moment. Wanted to do just a couple of housekeeping here at the end. Hold on just another moment. I have my other host coming in now. Let's see. Alrighty. So I want you to do me a favor as you are coming on. Like I said, I want you to go ahead and like and share with somebody that you know that needs this conversation, that needs to jump in with us. Make sure that you do that for us. And then we're going to jump in on this topic on tonight. So I'm going to go ahead and bring in the wonderful ladies of Church Girl Rants. Hey, hey, hey!
Hello.
How's everybody doing?
Hello.
All right, y'all. We are the host and co-host of Church Girl Rants, where we talk about everything that is either church related, relationship, world related. We're going to talk about a little bit about everything. We talk about it from a single woman's perspective, but it is for every woman, man, boy, child who wants to join in and be a part of the discussions that we have. Our main topic on tonight is going to be why is it so lonely being single? But
Ooh,
before we do
Jesus.
that, before we jump into that, we always have a question of the day. And so I'm going to jump into our question of the day for today. And I'm going to post a graphic. Now, the graphic is big, so it's going to take up a lot of the screen. And that's going to be, okay, I got a little feedback. Okay. So I'm going to post a graphic, and it's going to be really huge. It's going to cover most of the screen. So you might not be able to see us, but you need to see the graphic so you'll know what our question of the day is. And listen, I want everybody to participate in our question
Okay.
of the day. This is not just for the panelists, this is for all of you that are watching too. So even though we may answer the question first, we want you all to hit us up in these comments, and we want you to answer this question too. So y'all see, I'm building up the
Yeah.
building up to this question. So I'm gonna post this graphic. I saw this graphic on Instagram. So when I saw it, I was like, "Oh, we're gonna talk about this." So for those of you who don't know and you don't watch what's going on in culture, if you're not watching what's going on in the world, I watch a little bit of everything. So I'm always looking to see like stuff that celebrities are doing, what they're talking about. I'm just checking them out. So there's a celebrity couple that is Common and Tiffany Haddish.
Mm-hmm.
They are currently dating. And so I saw this graphic about a show that she was on, and this is what she said. And I want to get y'all's feelings about it. She said she wants Common to propose with an apartment building. I don't want a ring. I want units, she says. So I want to know from the panel, and I want those of you that are watching as well, how do you all feel about this? If a man proposed to you with apartments on, Broadway or wherever it is, would you prefer that over a ring? And before we answer the question, you can't say both. It's got to be either or. Apartment building or a ring? What is going to be your response? Either of the ladies, y'all jump in. And everybody in the comments, I want to hear what you say.
Oh gosh.
I hope she was just joking because she is a comedian.
That she is.
Okay, so you think
But
she was joking?
I said, I hope
Maybe,
she was.
maybe not.
I hope she was
he-
joking.
Lauren
here's
said,
the
I'd want the
thing
ring.
though.
I'm sorry, go ahead, Sharon.
I think here's the thing too. It Tiffany Haddish is so well rounded and she has her own finances. So she can really buy her own ring and say, come and gave it to her if she wants to. Uh,
She could. She could.
so it's not like that's what
Oh,
we can do. We not that fortunate. you know, we want the ring because we really can't afford that ring that we really do want.
We
So
can
we
get
want to
cubic
put it off on
zirconia.
him. Huh?
exactly.
I said, we
You
can
get
get cubic
you could get
zirconia.
cubic zirconia for right
Right.
now to start.
Well, well, okay. Mm,
No, well.
that's cute. But
She said that's cute.
for real,
Oh my
I
god.
don't think
Okay.
I don't think a whole lot of us gonna be talking about, oh, look at my CZ. No.
You don't tell them, you just
Some
flash
of them,
it.
some people can't tell the difference. But if it sparkles a little over too much, it got too much color, it's a CZ.
I'm gonna need you to understand that there are of us out here that knows the clarity.
Exactly. Exactly.
If
So,
you looking at the Four Seasons
If,
diamond, say that's not real.
yeah,
if it's
that
too many
mm,
rainbows, if it's too many
look,
rainbows
you
when the
should look
light
for
hit it,
another.
that's a CZ. That's a CZ.
Yeah, you should look for another.
Y'all got to tell me, which one would you pick? Do you want the apartment building or do you want the ring?
I want the ring.
Okay, the ring. I've seen
I
a couple
want the
people,
ring. We
and
could
y'all
get the
in the comments
apartment
let us know
complex
too.
together later. That could
Okay,
be, because that's something actually that I want to do anyways, is own some apartment complexes down the line. But I do want the ring because it symbolizes a little something more. Yeah.
okay, okay. Sharon, I see that face. So tell me what are you taking?
You
The
want to
apartment
you
building or
look
the ring?
you want the answer from Sharon or Sister Grant?
I want the answer from Sharon.
Sharon or
And for
Sister
those of
Grant.
y'all that are just jumping on and you didn't hear the question, this is our question of the day. Tiffany Haddish and Common are dating, and she says she doesn't want him to get a ring. She wants him to buy her an apartment building for their engagement. So, which would you choose, apartment building or ring?
Well, here's the thing. I think, because that is something like Chrissy that I want to do.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind being a owner or landlord or what have you, and have that opportunity to you know be in that side of the business.
Mm-hmm.
And so if
Yeah.
that's something that he can afford and he says, baby, will you marry me in front of a 12-story, 15-story,
Yeah.
72-story building, I'll be like, yes, and this is yours, baby. Thank you.
Yeah.
I
Yep.
sure
Yep.
do appreciate you. Because at the end of the day, and we all know what the ring symbolizes.
Yep.
But of course, again, we as women, we can go buy our own rings a lot of times.
Yep.
When I first got engaged to my late husband, he couldn't afford a ring at that time. And
Right.
especially not the one I wanted. so, so
Oh,
that's where we come in with that CZ. No, 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 that ain't happening. But here's the thing. But at that time, he gave me a trinket, a necklace,
Okay.
that was quite beautiful, and
Okay.
I accepted the proposal,
Mm-hmm.
because
mhm.
it was more about him,
Right.
and
Yeah.
it was about him doing it from his heart. It didn't
Mm-hmm.
matter that he couldn't afford it at that time. It was the fact that I was in love with him. And so,
Mm-hmm.
he took me out to a wonderful dinner, bought me a beautiful outfit and everything like that, and proposed to me and gave me a beautiful heart-shaped necklace.
Mm-hmm.
And then about 2 months later, he gave me a ring that I was just like, okay, you really in now. Thank you. Praise the Lord.
Right,
Mhm.
right.
And it was clear. It had clarity. It was real.
It
Clarity.
wasn't a CZ, huh?
It was
Yeah.
not a CZ. Praise the Lord. And so if that's something, again, as we always talk about, ladies, communication. And
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
so if that's something her and Common has talked about and that's something he wants to do, I say go for it. I'm
Okay.
not tied to anything. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah.
Can
But
Yeah,
I
I add?
all
think
my church
that for
people.
me, I'm sorry.
No, I was just saying all my church people may send me DMs and be like, girl, I'm gonna need you to get saved again.
Well, no, and I no, I know I get it, because I think for me sometimes we put so much pressure on men about the
Yeah.
kinds of rings we want and what the
Yeah.
carat
Yeah.
weight and it's got to have the 4 C's. I want it to be this color. It's got to be GH clarity. It's got to be all this stuff that
Right.
we have researched and we want in a ring. It's got to be VVS clarity and all of
Yep.
that. So
Yeah.
for me, when I saw that, what I saw was I want something that's going to create wealth.
Yeah.
A ring is just something that we're going to be purchasing. It's not going to
Yep.
create wealth unless you are going to get some flawless diamond or whatever. But it's not going to be building wealth. You buy an apartment building that is an income generating property, then
That's
you
right.
can pay for the ring with the property
Yep.
you just bought.
Yep.
So on in that kind of vein, especially if that's something sort of what you mentioned to Sharon, it's something we've been talking about building generational wealth
Yes.
that we
Yes.
can not only own but that we can pass on to children we might have in the future. I see the concept of, hey, this is something that we're building and we're going to build it together. Now I'm girly girl, just like anybody else. I like
Mhm.
rings. I got in my mind what I want it to look like and everything. But to me that says, oh, he's forward thinking. He's
Yeah.
thinking about future and not
Yeah.
just something for now. The ring is going to be for me for now. Okay, I'm going to be honest. That's a vanity thing for me.
Yeah.
I know it
It
symbolizes a
will.
whole bunch of things, but when I'm looking for rings, I'm not looking for the godly symbol or the circle symbolizes
Right.
another. I
Mm-mm.
ain't thinking about none of that when I'm ring shopping or love.
I'm
I'm
looking for something
dreaming.
where I can be holding up my finger, talking about,
And
"Hey,
bam, girl, look,
hey,
he did that.
look,
Oh my God.
y'all don't see this different color on my ring finger." I'll be like, "Hey, you,
Yeah.
hello."
Right, and I'm honest about that. That's about vanity for me.
Yeah.
But and I'm totally not saying that I don't want a ring. I am not saying that at all because I do. But I
Hmm.
can see what she's talking about. I can see where that could be, we're building generational wealth
Yeah.
for our family. We are setting ourselves up that if you don't ever want to work again, work these leases
Yeah.
Right.
on this apartment building. Her
Can
friend
I
is
add
laughing at
something
us.
to that?
Yes, go ahead.
And so if I were to do the apartment thing, I had to think about it though, because you got to make sure that if that's something that he does, that it's just not in his name, because then you won't be able to claim anything off of that. I want the apartment complex to be in both our name, or if he's putting it in my name, and it needs to say Chrissy's Villas, Chrissy's Estates, something of the sort, like that, so that I can,
Too
really
much.
see that it symbolizes.
She said, I need a symbol. I'm just going to say,
So I
if you
need it.
just can't
Yeah.
get me a ring and you going to get me this apartment, put my name on this front of this so everybody will know this mine.
Yep.
I mean, but here's the thing: you could get the apartment building as the engagement, and then get the ring once you get married.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's not
Definitely.
like it can't happen
It
like
can't
that.
happen. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
It can happen just like that. So I just think that, you know, apartment builder, I'm for it.
It's
Give
new.
me,
It's a new
if you want to give
concept.
me stocks,
Yep,
Okay.
it's a new concept.
I'm good with that. You want to give me an IRA? I'm good.
Well, and
Okay.
here was the thing. It was several years ago. One of my male cousins asked us the question. He said, and this must have been 25 years ago. He said, if a man couldn't afford to buy you, no, this was the question. Oh, never mind. I'm gonna use it for something else. It's gonna be one of our
Uh-oh.
next ones. Never mind.
Oh,
Yeah, I was going to say it,
oh
but I was
man.
like, no, that might be next week. That might be our question for next week. But in essence, what he was saying is that you have to figure out if you're in for what the marriage is going to be, and not
Exactly.
just the trinkets
Correct.
and symbols. Do you want weddings or do you want marriage? Are you looking to build a life with this person? And so
I
I
didn't get a
think
ring at my proposal. I mean, and when I got married, I didn't get a ring at my proposal. He actually sent me a text. He sent me a text and asked me would I marry him.
bless the Lord.
And then
Sherry, did
hold
you see
on,
my face? I was just like,
I don't have
hold
nothing
on,
to say.
hold on. And then maybe like a week or two later, we ended up in a jewelry store. We borrowed the money to get the little trio set.
All right,
The
I
trio
remember
set
those.
that
Yeah,
comes. Oh, wait a minute now, Sherry. She's talking about I remember those. Like,
I do because they don't do those anymore.
well, okay, so it was a trio set. I think it was from like K Jewelers. Yeah, probably about $500 for the whole little set. Then he's dropped down to one knee in the jewelry store and put it on
Oh,
my finger.
oh, that's sweet though. See, he was
I was
making up
looking
for the
around.
text message.
Yeah,
He's like, I know,
yeah.
I know, I started this out via text, but I'm gonna do it in
Sharon,
person
wait a
right
minute.
now.
Sharon is over there. What is going on?
I'm so speechless right now. I am so speechless.
What now? Here, either that a person would have the courage. That's how I'm gonna say it. The courage to ask you via text, or maybe it wasn't courage. Maybe he was scared to ask you in person, and that you accept it via text is amazing. It's
Jesus,
amazing. Y'all tell us
listen.
how y'all feel about that in the comments.
Y'all, please do.
That's
Please tell us
every
how
time
you
I hear
feel
that
about
story,
being
I'm just
proposed
like,
to in a text message.
I'm like speechless every time you tell us. I'm like, that happened. Yes.
So I'm hoping that when I do this again,
Get what you want. If you want a
This
ring,
look.
don't
This
worry
time
about
she
the
gonna have a
apartment
message
building.
in the
Get the
bottle.
ring, huh?
she said it's only a message in the bottle.
Frida said, text, nope, Sister Christy, no way. And who is this? Quita says, no disrespect, but that would absolutely.
I just need y'all to know that these are my people. See, we in there. Thank you, Frida and Quita. I sure do appreciate y'all because baby,
He
That's
didn't
a,
have a lot
right
of.
there.
that's a lot. He was
He
maybe
didn't have
was
a
he
lot of
scared?
finances.
Is he was scared to ask? That's why he did it via text.
I'm not real sure what happened with that. I just received a text and I was at work.
Right, Leslie.
Y'all got me
That
choking
part right there, Leslie. That part.
every week. Y'all, I promise y'all, if y'all
We
miss
have
a
a
week,
book.
y'all have missed the story. I promise
Yes.
you. So
That's what my life. It's been just like that, like a whirlwind. I mean, hey, he texted and I got off work and went to where he was. Sure did.
Quita said you text the wrong person.
Quita said, you got the wrong person, baby.
Okay, hold up. Here is somebody on your side. Because she says, I see
Okay.
no issue with that.
Oh my God,
That
this
may
is
Thank
be
you,
my
all he
Anita.
could do at the time. He did redeem himself. Now, there you go,
Thank
Anita.
you.
There you go.
Lisa.
Somebody
That's my that is
finally,
my
somebody
very
finally.
best friend
Well,
in
that
the
is so
world.
great. Cause
That's
Sharon show.
stand by Chrissy while everybody is laughing. That's right.
Lisa, you gonna call me after this show and you're gonna be like, girl, I just need to help her out. I just needed to have somebody on.
Everybody needs
Oh,
somebody to stand by them. Everybody
now,
needs it.
but
Oh
this
God.
also means that if I get proposed to again, then I'm not gonna get it. I'm not gonna wait on no. I'm not doing no text message. I did that the first time.
Okay, okay, so hold up. Okay, y'all, we gonna really get into the topic, but I'm gonna just say this right here.
This right here is too good though, Sharon.
So if you fall in love with
Oh,
the man of your dreams
yep.
and he texts you and say, Chrissy, you are the one for me. God has shown me that you are bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh. Will you marry me? What you gonna say?
I'm gonna say I'm gonna need you to do this in person, or at least get on Facebook Live and do
She
it.
gonna say yes. But please come by.
Oh God. Can you look, can you do a message in the bottle?
Right.
Oh
That's right.
God.
Alita says we put too much emphasis on the traditional stuff. I say do what works for you. That's right. Do what works for
See,
you.
what's wrong with the text message?
Well, okay, well that just doesn't work for me. I'm sorry. So
Oh my God.
I apologize. That doesn't work because I would love to look in your eyes. I would love for us to have that face to face, to
Mm-hmm.
where I'm looking in your eyes. Even if you don't have the ring,
Mm-hmm.
even if you just grab my hand, even if you
Right.
just touch my shoulder, because after you ask me, I'm excited about it. I want to now hug you. I want to now kiss you. I want to now embrace you. And I cannot do that with a text message.
They
I'm
have
sorry.
kissing
I
I
can't do
really
emojis
that
on
with
can't
a
do.
text
text.
message.
I can't say this. I can, and I think I'm just
Sonya
putting on
said
my.
something got lost in the translation.
He
I
was
can't.
serious.
I can't say this though. I think that maybe he was afraid of losing me, because I mean, we dated for 4 years. My
Mm-hmm.
sister had gotten married. My sister and her husband met same.
Excuse me.
I mean, they met February, was engaged by June, got married in November, all in the same year. And here I go, 4 years in. So I think I was just telling him, listen, I mean, it's 4 years. You're not. So I think he got scared that he was gonna lose me. And because I know that night that when I went over there after the text message, when I got there, I think he had been sipping a little bit of alcohol. So he was trying to build
Stop.
himself up.
You was good till you went there.
No, so I think he was trying to build himself up because
Wait a minute, Cheryl. So here we go. Everyone, thank you for coming on. You are tuned in to Chrissy's Chronicles. Because it has changed from Church Girl Rants to Chrissy's Chronicles. Because yeah. My other best friend said, "Oh wow, just wow, yeah."
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Leslie said
Yeah,
proposal by text. It's a no for me.
it's a no.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if I could do that.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I don't even like texting.
I like
Period.
text.
Um, I'm not a texting person. I'm not a phone person. I
Not
am
that
an
much.
in-person person. I like communicating face to face. That's my thing. I like people
Yeah,
that that's just me. So,
because
yeah.
it's a moment. It's
Yeah.
it's it's a moment, and it's a
It was still a
moment.
moment. It
Oh
was still
well,
a moment
okay,
for me.
See?
okay.
That's right, Chrissy. It was still a moment. She said you're gonna at least ask me to my face to face.
And well, at least I got one person that understood. Just
That's two people.
No, that's
two.
two people.
That's two.
Yeah, Quita understands. She won't
Yes.
do it, but she understands. Better
All
by
right,
and by.
Sonya.
Yeah.
Met him
See,
in April, married in November, 27 years later. That is
Yes,
amazing.
that's good
yes,
stuff
Awesome.
because it don't take a long
they are
time.
a beautiful couple.
Good to
I've
Awesome.
been
know.
knowing Sonya since high school. We were all three the hard way. I got my three the hard way sisters on here.
Okay.
Razia, Sonya, and myself. We were three the hard way. Whoop whoop.
Awesome.
Look, so yeah.
All right. Well, praise the Lord. So it's a ring for Chrissy. Um, for me and Sharon, I maybe the apartment building.
Yeah,
I don't think I would turn that down.
I wouldn't.
I'd be like, all right, I do. But and it depends
I do, I
on
did,
how
and I
you,
will.
yeah, it depends on what's good for you. But here's my thing to know what works for you and be
Yeah,
okay
Yeah,
that what works for you is something
that's
different
true.
that works for somebody else.
absolutely.
For for me, I might take an apartment building, but for somebody else, that's not what they want. And so be
Mm-hmm.
okay if you want a ring, I want a ring,
Yeah.
and just be okay with that. So
Yeah, and if you want to text, you take that text
okay, we're
and
not
you
going
text
back there. We're not going back there. Mm-mm. All right, so let's jump into our
Oh
topic for
gosh.
tonight. And we only have a few minutes to cover it. We're talking about why is being single so lonely. And I talk
Ooh.
to single women because that's who a lot of my platform is for single women,
Yeah.
me being one. And so a lot of them go through bouts of loneliness,
Mm.
even into depression because they've been trusting and believing God for mates. And so they become lonely and they become despondent and they become discouraged. So I wanted to talk about that because I hear it a lot. A lot of even the groups that I'm in, they talk about being lonely and how do you combat loneliness. And so I really, really wanted to talk about that tonight. And so before we even talk about how to combat it, I want to know from the panel and even from those of you that are single that are on here tonight. Um, I want to know, have you ever experienced that in your singleness, feeling lonely, feeling all alone?
Your turn, Chrissy.
What? We just had a whole segment on me. Um, you know what? It's kind of off and on. That's why I stay busy.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody always is watching me. They're like, "Oh my God, you are so busy. You do all these things." Well, I'm a single woman. I have no children, so I have the time. And then I've also heard it. Well, you're too busy. Some guy's gonna look at that and he's gonna think you don't have time. I'll have time. I'll make the time. It's just right now I stay busy like that for a reason.
Right.
Because when I find that I do have my downtime or it's too much downtime, I'm thinking about this or seeing this or if I'm out to a store by myself and seeing families or out to eat and you watching, couples together, they're holding hands, or maybe for me, it's just going to walk in the park or at the lake. You see couples, and I find myself sometimes like, Lord, why am I lonely walking around this lake? Where is my spouse? I would like to be holding hands with him. So I have to always take myself out of that because
Right.
so that I won't focus on. Yes, I mean I do have my times when it's like that. And so but I try to stay busy on purpose and get involved in a lot of different things so I won't focus on it. And let me just add this, and what's so interesting, I have married people that are saying to me, you need to enjoy that because they're like, enjoy that because right now I wish I could have some time to myself with no spouse or no kids. And so
Right.
I'm like, so now you want to switch places. And I hear several of them saying, if I was you, you can achieve and accomplish so much right now because you have nothing or no one holding you back. But for
Right.
me, it's this. I'm in my 40s now. I don't have any children. I don't have a spouse. I mean, that's something now that I'm wanting. I'm getting towards 50.
Mm-hmm.
So well, yeah, I'm 41. So but it's like,
Okay, wait a minute. How did
hold on. This is
41
wait,
get to
wait, wait.
be
This is
I'm getting
this is
towards 50? You
this
just
is
hit 40 good.
but remember, ladies, this is my perspective. so so
Okay,
This
but
is
we
her
can.
rant.
Okay. I ain't even gonna go there. Go ahead.
so so I've been in this zone of like, okay, Lord, I want the spouse, I want the family, I want all these things, and it's not happening. So of course I go through the win and all this stuff. But in the end, I know everything is in God's. I mean, I just realized that it's in God's timing. But
Right.
it could. But I can say this: I have my days when I'm very frustrated,
Right.
and then I have my days where I'm good. I have
Mm-hmm.
my days where I may shed a tear. I
Right.
mean, I have my days where I'm anxious about something,
Right.
or I may have my days where I get some sexual urges.
Mm-hmm.
have to throw it all out, just take it all.
Right.
But I'm just being real and raw with it,
Yes,
So yes,
absolutely.
yes,
Yeah.
I do go through all of that.
Yes, yes. And thank you all for putting your responses in the comments. I'm trying to make sure that I put them up as well. Sharon, you want to address that? Y'all see how she laughed?
Whew. Look, I don't know whether I need to be careful because I got too many people on this.
Oh,
Tell the truth.
Look, and
They
I don't
probably-
know the
if
ones
your
that
friends, they
hadn't
probably
said
already know,
anything
right?
yet. No. But here's the thing. You ask it in past tense, and mine is present tense.
Well,
Yes.
yeah, share, yeah.
Yeah, I definitely get lonely.
Mm-hmm.
Um and especially when you have become accustomed or you were accustomed to having someone in your life,
Right,
and then all of a sudden it switches, and now you all of a sudden now have to find yourself trying to figure out life by yourself,
right.
figure out, because here's the thing, it's not like I'm not like Chrissy. I'm not, because I don't have a whole lot of people that's just running after Sharon. I'm gonna go get some tips from Chrissy because mine doesn't seem to be working.
She got to teach those moves she's making.
Right,
Oh my God.
right. And so there are times that, the loneliness, can be overwhelming. It can really get to you. And
Yes.
a lot of times, the reason I am on a plane and traveling and things of that nature
Right.
is so that I could just go into a different atmosphere, so that I
Mhm.
can go on those sabbaticals, so that I can go enjoy those times. But even some of those times, I see that because I would love to have someone to travel with.
Yes.
I would love
Exactly.
to have those experiences with
Right.
someone else. And like I said, or like Chrissy said, there are times, where when your body has gotten a taste of something,
Mhm.
Exactly.
Right.
to put it lightly, when
Right.
your body has gotten a taste of something,
Mhm.
and it has become accustomed to being touched, to
Right.
being held, to being
Yep.
kissed, all
Right.
of those things,
Yes.
all of a sudden now it's just like you're just supposed to stop everything.
Right.
Exactly.
It's like,
Yep.
and that's a hard thing to do.
Very hard.
That's a very hard thing to do. And I know that we have all of these people that says, oh honey, you just got to live for Christ, and Christ's gonna take care of you. And
I know, right? I'll be like, child, please.
I'm just gonna because it's not just as easy as people think. My husband has been deceased for 22 years.
Right.
And I can tell you, I have fluctuated. I've been on a roller coaster. Some days
Yeah.
I'm good, some days I'm not. Some days it's just like, if somebody don't come in here right now, oh yeah, it ain't gonna be cute. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? I had someone the other one while I was on vacation or whatever, look at me and it was like, "Oh, you're beautiful." Girl, I got chills. I was like, "Oh, somebody think I'm beautiful." Thank you, Jesus. That is
Oh my
her.
God.
Thank you, Jesus.
That's still working.
I'm still alive. I'm still
I
alive.
got it. I still got it.
I still got it. And so I was just happy, and sometimes I don't know whether that happens to you guys, but sometimes just hearing those words,
Right.
Oh, yeah.
just hearing that you're beautiful, or just hearing that you fine, and things of that nature. I'm walking with a big
It's good.
kadunk back there. And so
It's
when I'm
good.
walking, I'm carrying some stuff with me. And so I'm gonna need somebody to be like, "Woo, yes, ma'am. She was
Yeah,
fearfully
yeah.
and wonderfully made by God."
Yes. Yes.
you
It's
know.
something
So
about those words, those
Mm-hmm.
compliments like
yeah,
that. They
those
get it
compliments and
just
everything.
changes.
And it helps sometimes for me, and I don't
It
know whether
does.
it helps with you guys from the loneliness,
Mm-hmm.
just to know that somebody noticed you,
Mm-hmm.
just to know
Exactly.
that somebody's paying attention to you and things of that
Mm-hmm.
nature. That helps a whole lot as well. And so it's yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
And
Yeah.
and I'm
Yeah.
glad to hear your responses, because what I have found is that it's almost like we expect to that feeling not to be there, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
that we expect to not feel lonely, or that we feel, a better way to put it is that we feel bad when we
Mm-hmm.
feel lonely, like, oh, I shouldn't be feeling
Yeah.
lonely, let me do something
Yeah.
so I don't feel lonely. God made us to live in community with people, whether that is a
Yep.
spouse, whether that is other people. So we are
Yes.
supposed to be interdependent upon
Yep.
one another. So if you're all alone, or if you're all one,
Mm-hmm.
and you don't have companionship in a spouse, then there are going to be times that you do feel lonely, and that
Yeah.
is the truth.
Yeah.
And people that say differently, yeah, whatever. But anyway, okay, let me say how the young people say, that is my truth. That's how they say that.
Mm.
But I think that's the truth for most of us, because I think most of us that desire companionship, that is something
Yeah.
that we experience. And like Chrissy said, there's some days where I'm good and I
Yeah.
am glad I'm single. And then there are some days I'm like, man, where is he? Is his watch broken or what? He is
Right.
late.
Exactly.
Come on now. So there are moments where I feel both of those,
Yeah.
fully content in my place in life, and in my singleness. And then there are times of desire and wanting to be connected to who God has called me to be connected
Yeah.
to.
Yeah.
So I want to, especially the catchphrase now, I want to normalize that
Mm-hmm.
there will be times where you do experience loneliness. And I
Mm-hmm.
know Chrissy has already kind of touched on it, but asking, how do you deal with that? How do you combat that feeling of loneliness? How do you move through that? What do you
Yeah.
all do for that?
Yeah, but first of all, can we acknowledge what Elder Linda said? We want to make sure
Mm-hmm.
that you are in our prayers. We take
Yes.
that opportunity on Church Girl Rants to let you
Yes, to
know
pray
that
for her.
you're in our prayers in the transition of your
Absolutely.
godfather and
Yes.
during the anniversary of your sister. So we
Yes, to pray for
definitely
you.
see your comment, and of course, especially during grief, we
Yes,
want that
absolutely.
person to be there. We want to
Yep.
have somebody there to be able to just lay our heads on their chests, or
Yes,
and
Exactly.
allow the
absolutely.
tears to fall. And if you like me, you have that ugly cry, you
Right.
know you
Everybody
want to be
does.
able, yeah, you want to be
Yeah.
able to do the really ugly cry without any judgment or condemnation. And I
Right.
think that's one of the things that is so hard to experience, is when we have those
Mm-hmm.
moments, whether it be something that we're happy about, or whether it's something that we're sad about,
Right.
just being
Yeah.
able to have that person to share, that's a
Absolutely.
difficult part. I don't have the secret. I have not discovered the secret
Mm-hmm.
of how to overcome the loneliness, or the step by step
Mm-hmm.
of what to do. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
of course, you can get
Uh-oh.
busy, but
Okay.
am I back?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
you're back.
Yeah. So there are times when you are going to, be busy, 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 but then you're going to get tired.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you can't just stay busy the whole time.
You can't. That's
you're,
right.
Right, right.
you're going to have to at some time face those things. Hey, Marlo, that's my I love
Eh.
her. I love my Marlo. uh but yeah, so there you're going to have to face that loneliness, and I wish that there was a step 1, step 2,
Yeah.
step 3,
Yeah.
but there is not. It is a moment by moment.
Mm-hmm.
It
It
is
is.
moment by moment that you have to kind of try to figure out what it's going to be, because there are times I may be sitting in this room and feeling that loneliness. Well, it's just for me to say, okay, Sharon, not today. And I get up and go get
Yep.
in my car, and then I
Yeah.
take a drive and go
Exactly.
somewhere, and or go see another friend of mine, or what
Yeah.
have you,
Yep.
and then
Mm-hmm.
come on back to the house and I'm okay. There are days though that I just got to cry it through.
Mm-hmm.
That's
I
it.
may
Yep.
just have to cry through.
Right.
And, with all the tears and the snot and, all of that stuff, I may have to just do that. So it's for
Exactly.
me, it's a moment by moment. I can't tell step by step by step of how to overcome being
Mm-hmm.
lonely, because, again, going back to the first question, it's what works for you,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's whatever situation, however you. And I know, yes, we can get the word all the time, but you can hold that Bible in your bed all night, but it ain't gonna
That ain't
turn
gonna
to
work.
flesh.
That ain't
it
gonna work.
it is not gonna turn to flesh,
I
and
tried.
yeah,
Abracadabra.
right.
Wow.
Yeah, it didn't work, did it? It did not work. You know,
I just
sometimes,
took the
look, you
Bible
just
out the
got to do
bed.
this.
I just
Sometimes I'm
took the
like
Bible
this.
out.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes,
I
honey,
just
you okay?
I just took the Bible
Come
out the
on,
bed.
baby.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're, so
Mm-hmm.
it just depends. It's
Yeah.
hard though. It's hard.
It
So
is.
if
It is, and two, just to add to, and be so interesting when people like especially I know for myself trying to talk to people about the fact that I deal with that sometimes, but you never talk to a married person about that, because what they'll try and say, oh baby, you just got to wait. I'm like, yeah, says the person who's married and can do whatever they want to do because you're married and you got a spouse. That's a little bit different. And I wanted to add this too. Like for me, I love to go to I'll go to church a lot. Like especially if I have downtime, I'm going to somebody's service. But the one part I hate that reminds me that I'm a single woman is when they say turn to your neighbor. And if I went by myself, and they'll be like, turn to your neighbor. If you really don't have nobody to turn to, I start going into this is why I need a spouse. So I can turn to my spouse and say, whatever, but and some of them they be I say, now come on, y'all got to lay off this turn to your neighbor. Because I don't got nobody to sit over here and I'm talking to myself. So I thought, I just talked to myself. But that part there, it could, it really is a process. And I want to just share this real quickly. Back February, I thought sure I was gonna have a date.
I'm sorry, cause
What did
Aletha,
that have to?
I'm sorry,
What?
What, I was trying to
Aletha.
understand what you thought I was going to have a date in February.
Huh?
Huh?
What did you just say, Chrissy?
No, I was getting ready to say it, but Sharon started laughing because she saw something.
I'm sorry.
That
I saw Aletha's comment. I'm proud of you, all saved ladies.
oh, that's
Oh.
I look. I know what's behind that comment. So
oh,
Oh,
okay.
okay. It's an
Okay.
inside
she
story.
she she is
Okay.
saying it. She is saying it as truthful from her heart. But I know the rest of it.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Okay. I didn't
It's okay. But continue, Chrissy.
No, I was just saying that I thought back early this year around Valentine's Day that because I prayed to the Lord, I do want to have a date for Valentine's Day, and I thought
Hey,
sure.
Denise.
I mean, I thought sure that it was gonna happen. I seen him in traffic. He was on that Harley Davidson, and he had told me to roll down the window and to get my number. Told me he couldn't have me out here all single by myself. And I said,
Oh,
I said, yes, God is coming through. But then and he was I mean, when I say fine, he was Puerto Rican, just very nice looking guy. And so the next day I'm at a funeral. All of a sudden I'm sitting in my cousin's funeral, get this text message from this guy saying, Chrissy, are you ready for all this? He didn't have on no, he didn't have on no shirt. I'm about to choke in the middle of the funeral because he had that show. He had just all the top part out. And then I said, okay, when this about to turn into something else, I said the devil is a lie. I had to just tell myself, okay, well maybe this is gonna go the wrong way. But and then so I got upset with God for a moment. I said, Lord, I said, really, you don't put a little teaser in here. So I ended up not even having a date for Valentine's Day, and my parents invited me to go out with them
Okay,
Hmm.
okay,
for
okay.
Yeah,
Valentine's
look,
Day.
Well,
look,
okay,
that
and
was
here's
good
the
because my,
thing. Okay, I'm sorry.
I'm
Go ahead,
sorry.
Sharon.
I was just with Chrissy. My daddy gives us a card every year.
Every year, without fail,
Oh yeah, Cheryl said she
Yes,
gets a
my
card.
my
without
daddy gives
fail.
us Valentine's Day
My
cards,
dad
and
don't play by his girls.
yeah. So
That's a good thing,
that's
They
as
didn't want
much.
me to be by myself. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Lisa, yes,
Marlo, I
you
hear you,
missed it.
Marlo.
She said, "Oh boy,
Yeah.
Chrissy and her stories. Did I miss it? Yeah, you missed the story. You're gonna have to go back and watch it."
You know what?
She every If y'all just want to find some funny stories on Chrissy, just go to YouTube and watch all Church Girl Rants. Every week there's a story. Every week. You need you just at
I'm
home
gonna
one
have to
day
slow
and you
back.
need to,
I'm gonna
your
have to slow
spirits
back on
lifted,
mine.
you feeling lonely and you need to laugh, go to YouTube, Church Girl Rants, watch an episode. Chrissy got a story for you. I promise you it'll bless you. But I put this comment back up from Marlo. She
Yeah.
said
Yeah.
some married are just as
I'm
lonely.
just as
Of course,
lonely. They
Marla,
are.
we know that's not your testimony, but she's a counselor. She said who deals with a lot of relationship issues among couples. And I think one of the reasons I wanted to address this tonight
That's
is
true.
because I think a lot of singles think that the magic bullet for curing loneliness is marriage, but it's
Yeah.
not. Just like
It's
she is
not.
saying
No.
right here, there are so many married people that are coupled with somebody and they are still lonely. They are still,
Lonely.
and to me, that would be a worse kind of loneliness. To
It
have
Absolutely.
is.
someone and
Been there.
still be lonely. So thank you so much, Marlo, for sharing that with us.
Absolutely.
We need
Yeah.
to hear that,
It's important.
especially singles, because we think a lot of times that, oh, when I get married, oh, when I get married, it's going to be this, this, and this. And then
The
I talk to
expectation.
young marrieds all the time, and they're like, "This is what it is." Nobody told me that this is what it was
Right.
gonna be, and so they're disappointed. They have unmet
Mm.
expectations
Yeah.
because, like we've been talking all season long, there was no communication, and so
Right.
then you have all of this other stuff.
Yeah.
Yes, Marla, she says unequally yoked,
I
and
like
both
that.
are saved.
Let's
Because a lot
see.
of times we think that just because you saved, that means you are equally
Correct.
yoked, and that
And
is
that's
not
not
the
the
case.
case.
So, Marla, we might have to get you on here to do some
Yep.
counseling and just some good
Mm-hmm.
strategy for singles. I remember Marla used to teach at the Potter's Institute, and she
Hmm.
would do a lot of teaching on that. And so we might have to just bring you in as the resident expert every now and
Yeah.
then just to talk
She could
about
take
it.
my place, and I'll be a client.
Just to talk about it. Oh, awesome. She said, okay, inbox me your email address.
Yeah.
We'll have to have you on because I think it's so necessary. And I think if we understand a lot of this before we get married, then
Yeah.
our marriages will fare better because we'll have better expectations going
So
into
true.
marriage. I don't have a magic bullet. I don't have a certain like what prescription for loneliness, but there are things that I do when I am feeling lonely that
Hmm.
always help me. And so I'll offer some of those to you. And some of y'all are probably already doing some of the things that I do. I try to make sure that I, kind of similar to what Chrissy says, that I monitor my time
Mm-hmm.
that I monitor my time. I don't give place to the enemy to have me through long spurts of time where I am by myself idle.
Exactly.
And so I occupy my time with things that I love. I'm just
Yes.
not like trying to be around people or just trying to do things. I occupy myself doing things that I absolutely love with people that I absolutely adore. So I
Yeah.
fill my time with people that I enjoy doing things that I love. And so what I find out for me that even though no, it doesn't make me not want companionship, it doesn't make me not want to be married, but it eases all of that extra stuff all of the extra entrance that I may give the enemy to get into my mind.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
so what I've learned how to do is find out what I love, find out what I enjoy.
Right.
What I am so surprised is that there are so many people in the body of Christ that if you ask them, what's your hobby?
They
They
don't
couldn't
have
tell
one.
you. They don't know what they like. They
Playing the
don't know
tambourine.
what they enjoy. Outside of church, what do you like to do? Do you even know what
Oh
you like?
Lord.
Do you even know what
Right.
feeds you? Do you even know what makes you happy? What makes you feel rested? What makes you feel peaceful?
That's
So
true.
if you find out those things about yourself, then you can occupy your time. Okay, I have extra amount of time today. I'm gonna go putt golf. I'm gonna go bowling.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go
Yep.
to the movies. I'm gonna call my girlfriend. She's single too, or somebody's got the kids, and we're gonna hang out. So I'm going to occupy my time doing that, and I'm also gonna be chasing dreams. I'm gonna be
Yeah.
chasing dreams, and y'all forgive me, good saints of God, and chasing paper.
The
Chasing dreams.
coins. Get them
I'm
Yes.
coins.
especially in the season of my life, as I look at my season and I look where
Mm-hmm.
I am nowhere financially where I want to be.
Me either.
And so in my mind, I'm like, okay, God, I have wasted time and I have spent a lot of unfruitful time not stacking like I need to be stacking so I can live like I want to live later
Mm-hmm.
on in my life. And so in this season, I'm like, okay, it's time to stack. It's time
Yeah.
to invest.
Yeah.
It's time to make sure that my financial picture looks a certain way,
Exactly.
so that when he see me, he sees help, and he sees I'm a blessing coming. I'm a
Yeah.
blessing. God gonna bless you with me. You hear me? And
Yeah.
so those are things I do. Working on my dream and having absolute fun. And
Yeah.
so those are just some of the things that I'm doing. And I saw several comments that came up, so I wanted to read them. She said, "Well, I'm singing lonely because I won't settle,
I love
and
it.
knowing the person that God created in me, I don't have to settle." So I brought, no, and no, you don't have to be lonely the rest of your
Oh my
life,
God.
because God created a man that's gonna love you. If that's your desire, I believe God created somebody just for you. And here's the thing: people always talk about people having too high a standard and blah 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 blah. Okay, this church girl rants, and I'm finna rant, and that means this is my opinion. It ain't no scripture for this. It's not founded upon the word. But I don't ascribe to that, because I believe that if God put something in my heart, a desire in my heart, now I don't mean like he's got to be a gazillionaire. I'm not talking about that kind of thing. But if my desire is a financially stable man, I don't think that's a lot to ask God for. Like, can he just not be homeless?
Cheryl,
Wait a
you in
minute.
timeout.
Wait.
You are
I don't
so
Can
think
he
in
God gonna
just
be like,
not
timeout.
be?
no. If you
You
take
probably
this,
didn't start there. You probably didn't start there though. You probably did not say just don't let him be homeless.
no, I ain't even there. I'm like, okay, anyway, that's my rant. So, tell me how to say her name again, Sharon.
Razia.
Razia. Don't give up. God can do it for you. Yeah. Oh, and here, Denise, thanks so much for joining. She says, marriage is not the antidote to all of your loneliness. I've been single, separated, divorced since 2014. I'm not lonely, but I've finally gotten to know myself so well that I'm content in my singleness. I think that is key. Spend this
Yeah.
time loving and getting to know you, so that when
Mm-hmm.
he comes, you can tell him, I don't like that.
Mm-hmm.
I want to go
Mm-hmm.
here. I like this. Sometimes we don't know ourselves well enough to introduce ourselves to a man because we don't know us. And so
Mm-hmm.
he's struggling trying to get to know us because we don't even know ourselves. Yes, thank you, Marlo. She said, the main reason my marriage works is because I loved me first, enjoyed my season of singleness, did not dismiss anything I couldn't live with, and pray daily for understanding. Oh, I love that. And what I don't
That's
understand
good.
about ECs, I love that. And that's
Yeah.
something that I think as singles that we need to learn how to do more to take advantage of this season. Okay, and I'm gonna let y'all
Ooh,
go because
this
I'm
a
gonna make
good
sure
one
I.
right here. This a
Yep.
good one right here. This a good one. Ooh, Jesus.
Oh, she says, why is it difficult to discuss this subject at our churches? And why do you think people, wait a minute, and why do people think that ministers should not get lonely or even sad and depressed? I know depressed is a forsaken word in the church. And it is, and I think it's because, Linda, I think we are uncomfortable talking about issues that matter. We don't mind, shouting you. We don't mind rolling over pews, but like the day-to-day issues that Christ came to help us with,
Yeah.
we shy away from that. We'd rather tell you to spin around in three circles and wait for magic instead of telling you this is how you work through it. Yes, it's going to be hard. It's not going to happen like magic. It's not going to be overnight for everybody. And so I think we have a hard time talking about real stuff.
Yeah.
Not just, we'd rather get preached, a sermon instead of this is how you take this word and apply it to your life, which is what the word is for, to be applied to our life. We think the word is to be preached in a sermon. The preached word is to convert souls.
Yeah.
But the real word is to change lives. We preach to save, but we ingest the word to change. And so we don't use it like that. We're like, oh, that church service was good, girl. We shouted something. We ain't learned nothing. We ain't applying
Yeah.
nothing. We
Yeah.
heard in the message. We just waiting on, like, like junkies, waiting on our next fix in church. And so you're right. And okay, I'm talking a lot, but you're right. We need to actually
Can
insert
I
this
say
into more, yes, ma'am, insert this into
can I
more
say
stuff.
something on that as well?
Absolutely.
A lot of times too, going back to what I've said, I think for the past few shows, we refuse to be transparent. We
Mm-hmm.
refuse to let people know that we have walked this journey. We
Mm-hmm.
refuse to tell our real testimonies. We
Yes.
refuse to help people understand that we had to walk through something to get to the
Yeah.
place that we are. It wasn't just that one day we woke up content, it was
Yeah.
a process. We
Yep.
had to, and learning who we are is not something that's just happening magically. We
Right.
have to,
Mm-mm.
it's a process,
A
it's a day by
process.
day process. But what has happened in the church is the fact that we won't tell our true testimony. We won't be
Yeah.
humble, open, and transparent. We do that
That part.
surface testimony, and and
Right.
then at the end ask for please people to please pray our strength in the Lord. But here's the thing: until we are truthful and we allow people to understand and know where we came from, and that God can bring you through, He will help you through the process, then we're going to do the definition of insanity. We're going to keep doing the same thing and expecting different results.
Yes.
And
Mm-hmm.
that's what's happening right now, is because we're so busy, like Cheryl said, just trying to preach, dance you, spin around, tell your neighbor, clock your neighbor in the head, and all of that stuff. When at the end of the day, if you could just be transparent, let somebody know,
Yeah.
hey, I've walked through this before, and don't be
Exactly.
ashamed of where you have come from. Don't be ashamed of what you had to walk through. So that's my
Exactly.
thing on that.
Yes.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
And I just want to add too, in regards, especially the piece I saw in regards to like ministers, and it's and like everyone's saying, we need to tell people that we've went through these things, because it used to be
Right.
that it was not, that you shouldn't let people know that you are going through, or
That you
that
have
you
a
went through
struggle.
things, especially as ministers, and that, oh, they, that you should do that. And what I found, when I wasn't showing or sharing anything, that I would have people say, or the word will come back to me, because people are always talking behind your back, and it will come back to me, oh, that Minister Chrissy, that Pastor Chrissy, she thinks she's perfect. She don't go through nothing. And so how can she tell? I mean, I would hear all this stuff. So now I begin to get a little bit more transparent. And I'm talking about a lot of the things that I've been through. Now it's like, okay, yeah, she's been through that. And it's relatable, because for a long time, I was always taught, don't you share that stuff. They don't
Mm-hmm.
Right.
need to know any of that stuff. Just come
Right.
straight from the Bible. Let it be the Bible. And they don't need to know nothing about what you went through. But I found that not to be that it was really what was needed. People needed to know that even though I'm in leadership, that I can relate to them, that I've been through something, that hey, I've been tempted in many ways. I've had my bouts with porn. I've done all these other little things, but I'm still staying steadfast. And so that's what we got to be able to share with people that hey, I go through this. I get lonely. I get offers. I get all these things, and I mean, you got to be able to do that because they need to know. Because the whole point, share it so that you can help somebody else overcome. If you've overcome it, how can if we're not sharing our testimonies of what we've been through? How can you help somebody else to be able to come through it? So now I'm a pretty raw person now with talking and sharing things about my life. Some of it is funny, it's real funny, of things that I've been through. But if it's gonna help somebody else not to go down the road I've been through, well, I will share it. I'll put it in a book, whatever the case may be, so that it'll help somebody else.
Absolutely. I love that. And it is so true, especially with this current generation. I heard a pastor once talk about we have to make sure that we are ministering to this current age.
Exactly.
And this current age for currency is transparency. They don't want to. They don't want this glossed over story. They are going through it. Y'all hear me? They are going through it.
They're going through it.
And they need to feel like they can actually relate to you. And so, and I love that Marlo says the journey to deliverance is seeded by the testimonies of others. Absolutely. That's what the Bible says. They overcame by the blood of the Lamb and the word of their testimony. And if we aren't sharing that, then I don't see myself there. I can't see myself as a Christian because I'm looking at you as the picture of perfection that has never made a misstep, that's never made a mistake, that has never fallen. So you can't understand
that part.
What I am going
That's what
through.
Gets said.
But when we get real and say, well, no, I've had the same issues. I've gone through the same things. But let me tell you how God walked me through it. I didn't have to stay there. So neither do you. And so I went through that so that I can pull you out and I can give you hope. I can give you courage, and I cannot be in a position where I'm looking down on you, that I'm condemning you, but that I am that saint that the Bible calls that's going to restore you in the spirit of meekness, lest I all be tempted myself. And so when we see that kind of thing happening in the body of Christ, we'll see people coming to the body of Christ. We will see people coming to church, wanting to know the Lord because they see him as someone that can help them.
Yeah, but not only that, Cheryl, too, even when we're telling our testimonies, we always say we overcame. But I'm sorry, there's still some stuff I'm overcoming.
True.
I haven't, I'm not there yet,
Right.
So I'm not going to sit up here. And that's one of the things that I say sometimes right before I preach. You're talking to a person who has struggled with fornication. And if you catch me on a bad day or on a good day, we can still be having some issues, and so it's a day by day thing, and a lot of times we think that we just say one thing and then we're finished and we're done. Well, loneliness doesn't stop. You having the desire for somebody doesn't stop. And so it's consistent. It's a struggle. And so, it's not just I overcame, I'm overcoming. It's a daily thing. And this thing is going to last probably until I'm out of this flesh. Unless somebody comes and they taking care of it. Praise the Lord. Hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus. But for now, I'm overcoming. And sometimes I got to preach about fornication because I need to hear that word myself. Yes, I'm preaching to you, but I'm talking about me. I got to preach this thing so that it can settle in my spirit, so it can settle in my heart, and it may be continuous for a while. I may need to get therapy or whatever. If somebody is going to counseling or whatever, that's fine. fine, you
Yes.
know.
Yeah.
And sometimes we think that we have people thinking, especially from the pulpit, that everything that we've ever done in our life we've already overcome. It's
Right.
already done.
Mm-hmm.
It's a
Right.
period.
Yeah.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
I'm done with it. Never to return again. It's in the sea of forgetfulness.
Yeah.
I slammed it down. It's as far as the east is from the west. No,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
no.
Mm-hmm.
There's still some stuff that we
Right.
got to overcome, and we
True.
may need help getting through it.
That's
I
it.
may have to say the
Exactly.
same scripture every day for the rest of my life. Flee fornication. Flee fornication. Yeah, that flee fornication. I may have to do that, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the whole thing. We have to be able to be transparent and say,
Yes.
I got these things that's working in my inner
Yeah.
parts,
Right.
but it's the Holy Spirit. And what we have to remember is what Galatians 5, I think 16 and 17, it said that the flesh and the spirit are always fighting. They're
Always.
antagonistic against one another. So you're
Mm-hmm.
gonna have that fight daily. You're gonna fight with the loneliness. You're gonna fight with the sexual urges. You're gonna fight with not being
Yes.
married. You're gonna fight with, you know, your spouse dying and now you got to wait to
Yeah.
be found again. That
Mm-hmm.
thing
Again.
wears me out every time. Cause see, as a widower, a man don't have to wait to be found. He go find. But me,
All the
I gotta
time.
wait dang 22 years to be found.
Talk on it, Sharon. I be talking
Mm-hmm.
about that every
I
day.
gotta wait.
Mm-hmm.
I talk
Because
on it every day.
if I'm not found, then everybody was like, "Oh, she out there. She was looking for." Did y'all see that elder? She was out there all over the place looking for man. She all on the what are they black people meet, and she all on matchmaker meet and all those other things. She was swiping right. She need to just sit down until she found.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah. Yeah.
heck, what am I supposed to do? Wait on Jethro to come through the bushes?
Exactly.
Where is he?
Exactly.
You know, how am I
Exactly.
supposed to get through this? What am I supposed to do in the meantime, between time?
Right.
Because
Mm-hmm.
widowers, the men, they can immediately go out there and find somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
Talk
But
about it
as
every day. I talk
but as
about it every day.
women, we have an we are expected to just wait till he show up.
But that's
Exactly.
any woman in any
So we
realm
all think the
of
same way.
yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
We
And I
all
just
think
be
the
like,
same way.
okay.
And me, I have the conversations with God. I say, now God, now how fair is this? If okay, I have to wait for the man to say he wants to marry me. You know, because you gotta wait. And then he may could be the one that say he wants a divorce. So then I got to go back into waiting on another one, but he done moved on and got somebody else while I'm steady just waiting and waiting.
Yep.
And I say to God all the time, God, this is so unfair. Cause these men, and I should tell a lot of the guys, I say, listen, y'all jump out of one relationship and right into another one. Y'all don't even give yourself time to heal. I guess y'all way of healing is getting from one woman to the next. They never go through a healing process. They don't even be without a person for a month and they want another woman. And
Mm-hmm.
but for me, it's now going into almost 7 years since I've been with the man. And I'm like, hello, God, 7 is your number of completion. I should see him any day now. You know, I'm up here thinking to myself.
Right,
Now,
right.
hopefully, you know, I think I think as ladies, we see it like that, that we are the ones that spend a lot of the time
Mm-hmm.
waiting
Yeah.
to be found, like Sharon saying, while we're waiting, while the men are pursuing, and they may not even pursue you, or they're gonna play with you in their pursuit.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna say that too because that happens. They'll play with you in their pursuit of, you know. So, um, you know, it is a process, and hopefully, a lot of the things that we've shared tonight, hopefully, you know, it's gonna help some of the women that are on here. I have not done any of the dating apps yet, but I'm getting pretty tempted to go ahead and get on there and swipe somewhere. You know, swipe. You know, whatever the case, I'm getting a little tempted to do so
Well, and I
in
don't
this
see anything wrong
process.
with dating apps. I've done dating apps before, and
Yeah.
if y'all just saw Elder Marlowe's
Marlowe's.
comment before that she met her husband on Black People Meet. Bam, Black
Oh, that's
Christians Meet.
good. See there?
So I
Yeah.
mean, And this is for another show, but we need to talk about what waiting really means. I think that the church has given the church has given us a bad idea of what waiting means or what it means to be found. And so I
Yeah.
think we have to revisit what that really is, and maybe we'll do that in an upcoming episode. What does it mean to be found? That scripture that, especially in the black church, they like to use a lot. He that findeth a wife. What does that scripture really mean? And so we'll maybe
Right.
unpack that and deal with that. Elder Linda said, "Don't do it. It's a mess." And it depends. I didn't have success doing it. I know many people that have
Hmm.
um,
Let me have
had
to try
success. I know
that.
people that like Elder Marlowe are married today, and they
Yeah.
met on a dating app. So I know people that didn't have success with it. I know people that did have success with it. I know people that didn't have success with face on face meeting. So
Right.
I don't besmirch either of the ways that
I think
that
with
may
anything you
happen.
just really have to be
Um,
careful.
you do have to be careful
Yeah, yeah.
because people
That's
can
my
be
cousin. Yep,
anybody. Yeah, people can
yep.
be anybody
I just meet
on
men.
here.
I meet them on social media. Period. And you got
Which
to
is a
watch too
dating
for the
app.
crazies because there's a gentleman now. He will leave me a message every morning on Instagram. Hello, beautiful. Good morning. I'm so glad that you're in my life and that God brought you in. I'm saying to myself, I don't never recall us even saying that I'm in a relationship with you. But every morning he's sending me stuff like that, and I'm like, he's a little psycho. Like I started, so I don't even say nothing. I just because it's like that's a little weird to me. I mean, he does a whole thing like we've been together for years, like a whole little
You
spiel
good. You good. He would be
every
I
so
know
morning.
she real
ELOCKED.
good. But I'm just trying to figure out, where they come from, because Chrissy gets all the attention. And
I
I just be
listen,
sitting up there like,
listen. Spanish,
oh,
Spanish. I mean, all cultures, all cultures. Yeah.
mm, yeah, I'm what you call like, whoo, mm.
And
I
here's
know, right?
here's the thing.
That's true. That's true.
That is very true.
It, but here's also what's true. A lot of times we see people get married and we think that's success.
Mm-mm.
That doesn't mean
Mhm.
that. Just because
Nope.
you got married doesn't mean, oh, I'm waiting for 2 years and God hasn't sent mine yet. And she got saved yesterday and she married tomorrow. That don't mean that it's a good marriage. And sometimes we
But
see
yeah,
the marriage as the end game, and we
yeah,
don't realize that just because they got married doesn't mean it happened right, doesn't
yeah.
mean that they're enjoying it. So
True.
if until we stop seeing marriage as the ultimate prize, I think we'll always be disillusioned when
True.
other people get married because, oh, they got the prize. No, they got a crazy. That's what they got. And now they got to live with him. Okay? So
Yeah.
you home and you can sleep. She's sleeping with one eye open, but she married. So I think we have to
Gotta
see
remember
the
that
whole big picture
Yeah.
instead
There's a
of
because
balance.
part a
because
part there.
everybody's not gonna show you everything.
Oh
They only gonna
no.
show, especially on social media. You only get to really see the good stuff. I posted a picture of a bride and groom. It looks so like they're smiling. They look all together. When you look at the back, he's holding her whole arm, twisting it because and there's bruises there. So
Mm-hmm.
it's showing that you're seeing the front, but you're not seeing what's happening behind. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's very important.
Yeah.
Because I know a lot of
Cameras aren't
married
the only
people.
one with
I'm sorry. Go
filters.
ahead.
I said
Yes.
cameras aren't the only one with filters.
Right.
Yep.
We put filters on a whole lot of things, to make
Exactly.
ourselves, look good. And just like on Facebook, we sit here and we go through, we post pictures that look good.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was why I posted, the car that I had for 22 years. I
Mm-hmm.
want you to see my busted car. I
Right.
want you
Yeah.
to see that I was missing hubcaps. I want
Mm-hmm.
you to see that,
Yeah.
but she served me well for 22 years,
Yes.
and
Absolutely.
sometimes we need to show the entire picture, not
Mm-hmm.
just, the good side of it. And real quick before we go off, one of the things that I wanted to go back to, because I know Cheryl, when we all was talking and you were saying that, you surround yourself, with people and so on and so forth. I think sometimes my difficulty sometimes of still being here in Texas, most of my friends here are married.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
So that makes it very hard sometimes for me to be able to find those people to hang out with, because I don't want to take nobody from their spouse or
Yeah.
whatever. Although sometimes they be like, girl, please, I'm going with you.
Yeah.
you know
Yeah.
but me being able to go to Georgia or wherever I go to hang out with my family, my sister,
Right.
and things of that nature, hang out with
Mm-hmm.
some other singles and things of that nature, that really
Mm-hmm.
helps with the loneliness. But a lot of times while I'm here in Texas, it becomes overwhelming. It
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
really does. It
Mm-hmm.
becomes overwhelming at times, because as I scroll through my contacts list, most of the people that I love and want to hang out with are married, and I know that they have their lives, and they're
Yeah.
enjoying their spouse
Yep.
and so on and so
Right.
forth. So I can become very overwhelmed with loneliness while I'm here in Texas, but I continuously talk to myself. I continuously take myself out to dinner, to the museum or wherever, do those things. But it's a little hard when you don't have those friends or family or those surroundings or whatever. I love my best friend.
Well,
Put it up, Cheryl. Put it up.
I'm not putting that up. But anyway, I see what she
Oh.
says though. All right, Alita, I see you.
Yes, that's my look. That's my best friend. Everybody needs a Peter. She is my Peter. Everybody in the world needs a Peter, and she will forever and always be my Peter. Yes.
Well, and here's the thing too. Um, I'm doing a 30-day Get Your Life challenge, and one of the things, especially that was actually for our challenge for today, was to find your tribe.
Okay.
Sometimes you are going to live in a place that your family is not, but you can find a
Mm-hmm.
tribe in the city that you are in. And if that means you got to come out of your comfort zone of all your married friends and find another tribe of people that you
Mm-hmm.
can connect to. And I
You
see
see
your
my face?
face looking like I don't want no other friends.
No, it's not the fact that I don't want other friends. I want other friends, and I have met some beautiful people, but for some reason, like I said, a great deal of them, even outside of those who I met before, are still married. And I don't know, because I've gotten this thing, oh, you carry yourself like you're married. I don't know what that means, but okay. I, I really don't. I don't know what that means. I carry myself like I'm married. But and so with that, I've tried to meet people, but then sometimes too, when you meet people and you think y'all finna, be down like four flat tires in a kickstand, and then all of a sudden they go ghost,
Yep.
and you're like, oh,
Yep.
that was
What just
that was just
happened?
a reason or a season. That wasn't a
Oh,
lifetime,
I gotta go.
Sharon.
Okay.
That was a reason or a season. That wasn't a lifetime. So
Well, I will be praying that you can find you a Dallas tribe that you can hang out. I got a whole bunch of single friends in Dallas from when
my
I lived
ATL
there.
people are calling me though. My ATL people are like, "Hey, girl, you
Well,
gone too
until
long."
until you move back to ATL, there are a whole bunch of wonderful single people. Some of them are on here now. Lori, Linda, that are phenomenal women that love life, love to have fun, love to hang out, love to enjoy themselves in a whole lot of different ways. So I can connect you if you want some connections with some fun people
There you
in
go.
Dallas
There you go.
that
I
are
look,
that are
I would love it, but
wonderful, absolutely wonderful people. When I was living in Dallas, I had a crew. I mean, I had a crew, and I still have a crew that I talk to
yeah,
all the time now. So if you want some good hanging partners, I got some. I got some.
Yeah. Marlo knows that when I go out, I'm not, you can't be talking about, elder. No, can I
I
just
don't
be?
have those kinds of friends.
Okay.
I don't have those kinds of friends. I said if you want some
I
people to
wish they
hang
would just
out with
call
and
me
have fun
Chrissy.
with, I got you.
I wish they'll
Yeah.
just call me
Yeah.
I
Chrissy.
had to tell somebody the other day because they was like, Lady Sharon. I was like, I'm going to need you to do, I cannot just ask you for a favor. Can I just be Sharon? Please.
No,
Can I just be Sharon?
my
Like,
partners are just people.
yeah.
That's
People.
good.
Yeah.
All right,
Whew.
ladies, we have jumped over our ending
Yeah.
time, but y'all was going so strong. That's right, Devin. Devin's in
It's
Dallas
done.
too. I got some real people. Um, we have enjoyed you all. I hope that you all have enjoyed this wonderful conversation that we have been having all night long. And we will be back on next. See, Linda's like winning. Well, boom, boom. Let me tell you, you don't even know. Thank you. So we are here every Tuesday at 8 o'clock.
I love what
So
Linda
make
said.
sure if you are on, let's see, if you're on Facebook, make sure that you follow the
God.
page so that when we go live, that you'll know. If you are watching us on YouTube, make sure you subscribe so that you will know when we go live. On next week, our topic is going to be, should you pray for your future husband? Should you pray? And if you should, what should we be saying to the Lord about him? So,
Is that Pray or Prey?
well, I hope you don't prey on him because you're going to have to Live with him. So,
It's
all
both.
right, awesome.
You're welcome, Sonya. I love you.
Oh, they are laughing at you. So we will see you all on next week. We love you with the love of the Lord. Y'all have a good
Yes.
night.
Good night.